let's just go back into your story a little bit in terms of why hotels over, doing vacation rentals and just, other forms of hospitality that you could have got into. Like, what was it specifically about hotels that drew you in?
For me, it was so many different things that you find within a hotel. A hotel is so many different businesses, right? So, and I'll break that down into when you have people that I talk to frequently, they're interested in hotel ownership. They may understand business, but they don't understand the hotel business. They may understand real estate, but they understand commercial real estate, or they understand commercial real estate and business, but they don't understand the hotel business. So I like that there's all of those things that make it a very complex deal, because you're not just buying a business, you're buying real estate. You're buying an operating business on real estate, and all those things have valuations associated with it. So I liked hotels because, especially if you're talking about select service or full service hotels, there's stories there, right? The hotel got built there for a reason. And so what is it going on in this area that said that there's enough people that are going to come here and not be residents, right? There's a story around why that hotel is there and why somebody else should buy it. And, the next lifetime, sometimes there's an opportunity to buy something and reflag it, meaning change the brand and add an additional value. So, for instance, I have a listing right now. It was originally the city hall of a city of a smaller, well, about a mid-sized city in New York, and then it got converted to a hotel, and now it's a historic boutique hotel. It's a great story if you wanted to, affiliate with a larger brand. So that's what really kept me energized. And every deal is different, right? You have a lot of moving pieces. You outside of the sellers and the buyers that are always interesting to work with. It's really just the deal, right? And it's just something new every time.
Got it. And I can resonate with that, especially this piece of the story. I never really looked at hotels as, telling a story in terms of why it should actually be there, because other than residential, you need something else for, to draw that hotel in for people to just stay for a few days at a time. So, when you think about that revenue source or you think about that way of making money, why is it important for more Black people to get into the hotel industry and either owning a hotel or, whatever is the best fit in terms of just like getting in the industry in general?
The biggest thing that I can say that I love about the lodging industry above all other sectors, and it's going to be a very long-winded answer, but you hear celebrities and you hear other people, even Black celebrities, like a lot of, they talk about, kind of their residential, they own apartment buildings and things like that. But let's really talk about job creation. Okay. Do they create jobs? So you start talking about the lodging industry, American Hotel Lodging Association, they tout that it creates 8 million American jobs. That's a lot. That's a really big deal. Like, we're a significant contributor to GDP. So when you start talking about, not just us as consumers, but about job creators, there was, we've been talking about jobs and justice for how many decades now? Well, here's an opportunity to create jobs, and there's jobs on every scale. So, and I'll dive into that. Is that there used to be a perception, and so back in the day, schools used to have a challenge with getting students to enroll in the hospitality programs, and a lot of it had to do with, especially like, and I teach at two historically Black colleges and universities. If you talk to some of the older heads, some of the older parents back in the day, it was like, well, your grandmama cleaned rooms, and my great grandmother cleaned rooms while she was in Bible study downtown Chicago. That was a thing. That was where their concept was like, no, you can go and be a general manager. And there are some GMs that, clear very well into the six figures, and it's not with a one handle, like it's with a two handle. So there are GMs that are doing very well. There are also opportunities for you to excel very far without a formal degree, right? A lot of times, if you're a hard worker and you're willing to relocate, you can have an outstanding career in the hospitality business, hospitality overall, but I love lodging. So that's the biggest reason why we should look at it. The other piece of the small piece of it too is, if you're talking about it from the consumer standpoint, I mean, how many different Facebook groups do you see now on social media, for whether it be Black Travel Movement or all these different things? I think No Madness is one. It's like, well, what if we were really, getting more energized about, okay, well, we all like to travel. We all, I think, would like to have residual income. And I think we're all interested in wealth building tools and strategies. Let's talk about hotel ownership. Right. And then you go into, the other benefits of the revenue that it generates. But the two biggest, the biggest one beyond all is just job creation. And there's not a lot of opportunities. There's not a lot of fields that give that. You hear a lot of celebrities, they want to own restaurants, and, restaurants usually don't have that staying power. You very rarely see a hotel close. Just think about that for a second. You'll see it change names, you'll see it sell, but to just see it outright close, that means that there's a demand there, right? That means that even if something is going wrong, that there's a demand for another user or another use. But we've all seen restaurants fold up, whether they be celebrity or family members or otherwise. They just do not make it, and there's not another end user there. Versus the lodging industry, you don't see that as much.
I actually never looked at that or even thought about that, because I do see hotels change names all of the time. But I've never actually seen a hotel close, like you said, or not very often. I mean, sometimes you hear about it, but it's not something that's a regular occurrence like you see happening at a lot of places just on the street, that's, serving food or a retail outlet or something like that.
Yeah.
And, one other thing that I've noticed personally about people in the hotel industry is their knack for, I guess, entrepreneurship, right? Or their just knack to make money. Because, I went to, Cornell for my MBA, mm-hmm. and Cornell is widely regarded as having one of the best hotel schools in the nation. Mm-hmm. And it was right across from the business school. And when you look at the graduates that the hotel school at Cornell produced, they are more often than not more likely to be multimillionaires and billionaires compared to even the business school or any other school on the university campus.